So number 2 on the worksheet that was provided at the beginning of class, we have 1, -19, and -2 for the second pairing point, -2 and -7. So if you were to draw this on a graph, basically, you know you're in a quadrant 2 or quadrant 4 for this one. So you're going to be over 1 and down -19. So that point right there is going to be like 1, -19. -2, -7, you're in quadrant 3 where everything's negative. So you're over 2 and you're going to be like down 7. So let's say that's -7. This is -19 on the y-axis. And then we've got 1 along the x, -1, and -2 for this other one. So this other point right here is -2, -7. If I want to find the overall steepness, I have to use the formula m equals the change in y over the change in x. So m equals delta y over delta x, which is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You can rewrite it in two ways for the points. You have x1, y1 pairing, and you have your x2, y2 pairing. I always like to do it from left to right because in English we read from left to right. Substitute it in. Be sure that you substitute each value correctly with parentheses. So I'm going to substitute in -7 for y2. And I'm going to subtract -19 for my y1 pairing. Okay, and I'll do that in red, and I'll do the other two in blue. So, and this is the ratio of y to x. So for the next substitution, I'm going to substitute in my x2 pairing, which is -2. And I'm going to subtract it from the first x pairing, which is 1. Simplify, I'll get -7. Negative times a negative is a positive, and I get 19. -2 minus 1, drop your parentheses. Remember that old saying, please end my day at school. Okay? Make sure you take care of your order of operations. So -7 plus 19 is the same thing as 19 minus 7 due to the transitive property. I'll clean that up. So 19 minus 7 is the same thing as -7 plus 19. -2 take away 1 is -3. So -7 plus 19 is the same thing as 19 minus 7, which is 12, divided by -3. 12 divided by -3 is -4. Now remember that the slope, if it's a whole integer, then it is -4 over 1, which gives you your change in y over your change in x, or simply put, your rise over run for your slope. So that tells me I'm going to go down 4 along the y and over to the right +1. So we said y was red, so I'm going to go down 4 units. Okay? And then I'm going to go right 1. In this case, I went over from -2 to 1, which is a total of 3 points. And the difference between -2 and -7 and 19 is this right here. It's -7 minus 19. This should be down 12, right? Because -12 divided by 3 gives you this 4. So if I were to take this triangle out over here, I would have negative 12, down 12 along the y-axis, and I'd be over to the right 3 positively. Okay, basically slopes can help us find triangles because I know that this is the hypotenuse. Remember that a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and later on this is going to help us understand the distance formula, which we'll talk about in the next week or so.